When we come back, we'll discuss whether or not we think the law will be passed in Atlanta. Don't go away.
Can we pause it for a second?
Okay.
Thanks.
Hey, where you going?
I need to pass gas.
Well, that's cool. You can do it here.
No way.
Go ahead. I don't care.
Look, if I pass gas in here, it's gonna be toxic, and it could linger for hours, maybe days. Is that what you want?
No.
Be right back.
Secondhand smoke contains hydrogen cyanide and other deadly gases. Don't pass gas. Take it outside.
Do you know that stroke targets by color? Odds are, if you're African American, you're twice as likely to suffer a stroke as white Americans. Know where you stand, because beating the odds isn't about winning, it's about living. Join the power to end stroke at strokeassociation.org.
Welcome back to The Final Authority. I'm Brian Isaac Marshall. We're going to continue this discussion about sagging pants and the laws that are trying to go forth to regulate sagging pants. Do y'all feel that this law will really be passed here in Atlanta?
I think it will, especially if people aren't upset about it.
Yeah.
Like, if people aren't going to do anything about it, then it's just going to be passed and with no problem.
Right. What do you think?
And I think it'll definitely be passed here in Atlanta because majority population is African American, so it'll definitely get passed.
So is it just like, I mean, does it just depend on like where you're from? Like how people like, how do people, where you're from Philly,
Philadelphia.
You're from New York, do the men up there wear their pants down or?
That's the norm. Well, it was. Currently, it's gone back to the tighter Aeropostale style type of look, and so it just brings, it's just a trend. It goes back and forth, things change. I feel like I don't see how they could think about passing legislation for this. There was more of an uproar about miniskirts in the 60s and 70s, and there was no legislation. That was considered indecent, but it was still their choice to rebel in that way. It wasn't legislated.
Right.
Yeah, it's just better things to make laws for than
Better
sagging
things
pants.
like
That's
what?
true.
I don't know, like go make a law on bums on the street, like
Bums on the street?
harassing people for money and stuff.
They have laws about that.
Oh.
I seen dudes
Okay.
wear suits, and they suits be sagging.
I never seen
So I mean, it's just going too far. I mean, come on, y'all young people are taking this a little bit too far with these pants and stuff.
It needs to go.
Yes, I really am.
But it's not about the government. It's fashion. It's not the government saying you shouldn't wear that. I don't like how that looks. Like that.
Okay.
That makes me think of criminal activity. I think it's more about learning. Like, what is that punishment gonna? It's just gonna make them African American males madder at the system.
Well, forget the law. Let's just talk about just the individual person, because I just really think black men are just setting their own steps up. You know, like what about you gonna go to your job interview like that?
That's different.
Was
It's a place and time for everything. And sagging pants is, you don't sag
so
at
in
no
the
job
public,
interview.
but in the public eye.
I mean, if you go into
Why can't so you telling me when you go to job interview, that job interview is regulated what you wear?
Not necessarily, but it's just certain things you do, like you don't chew gum at interviews.
So
but
what
it's
do you
okay to
think
chew
would
gum
make
at
a
home.
person know, like, okay, if they sag their pants, that I need to have my pants up when I get this job? What do you think will make them think that they need to do that when they go for a job interview?
Just because, you know, like the first thing come your head, you see people sagging, it is a stereotype. So why would you do that at a job interview?
Why would you do that out on the street?
Because you're not impressing nobody.
No,
on the
if
street.
that's
job
your
interview is about impressing.
if
You
that's
go
your
to
self-expression, then you should go sag your pants right into your job, into your corporate job interview.
impress. But you have to impress that person to get that job. You trying to get
Then after you get the
somewhere.
job, then you sag the pants.
No.
Whatever you do in your spare time at home, that's you.
At home, you said at home.
At
But
home
the
on
law,
the
the law is regulating you out in the public, indecent exposure in the public eye.
But what's indecent about it?
What's indecent? Oh my God. Stains on just seeing a person's butt. And I mean, like, really, I mean, for real.
If that's maybe it's an embarrassment to that person. But
I'd
what is
rather
the
I'd
government?
rather the person walk around with just in their underwear.
No.
You might as well.
That's
Why
not the
can't
same thing
I just
as
don't? I
sagging.
don't understand. You might well take your pants off.
No.
Yes, you should.
This-
If your pants is hanging down here to your ankles, you might
No,
well take
that's
them
not
out.
sagging.
At least you can walk better,
Oh, well.
and you don't have to keep pulling your pants up every 2 seconds.
It's just-
I think it just looks so ignorant.
And that may be true.
And no, it is true.
Okay, that's your opinion though. You may think it's ignorant. I think it's just a fashion statement. They change all the time. It's not gonna be like that forever. I don't feel.
I just think if you know something has a negative connotation to it, why would you do it?
right. That's where the education comes in.
With education, I'm confused
You
about
need to.
education.
I mean, even you. How many people do you honestly tell? How many young guys do you try to school on how that's not professional, mature?
If it's somebody that I'm not gonna walk up just to anybody, and because I don't know, they might have a gun under their shirt and they pants somewhere. And so, but if it was my friends, I'm like, you need to pull your pants. You ain't going nowhere with me looking ignorant like this.